to see you.
Alright everyone, welcome back to the Road to 100, as I believe is episode 99, as it seems. Am I correct on that? I need to check. Yes, this is indeed episode 99. So we will be starting the 100% run, and we want to start the story again, and we want to play with enhanced difficulty. So what we will be doing here is we will be running everything of my choice, as there will be no pattern, there will be no... we'll let Cruz tell this.
The blood code you once held has broken, has vanished. That has left you with infinite possibilities. Since you are the only one who can do this, your blood is the only teacher you have.
Interesting words from Cruz.
Now, awaken.
So what are we awakening from? And what are we... why did our blood code get destroyed? And how are we back, and how can we have infinite possibilities when our blood code was destroyed and is vanished? And what are we waking up from, and where are we kind of in this point of the story? So this is kind of interesting that they give you access to some very key information here early on, but they don't explain as to why and what it is. Very interesting. Well, thank you, EU.
Hello.
Sorry, girl in white.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good, now that we're on the 100% run. I wonder, I was laying on those wings pretty hard. So we are here in the town, in the city outskirts. Why are we here, and what are we doing here? Interesting. Bandai is very conscientious there with the camera movement.
Don't worry, it's okay. I don't remember either.
That scar actually looks pretty cool on my face there. Or that bloodthirst.
Over there.
So what is over there? Ooh, a tree of sorts. Okay, so this is how the game begins. You have no idea why you're doing this or what's going on. And then the question on everybody's mind as soon as you get to this part is, why are we so slow? And why do we have to walk slow
It's dry, isn't it?
every time into New Game Plus? So this is the benefit of a keyboard, is you can do this part in a very exciting way with WASD. Okay, she's here with us. Woo!
Just a bit farther.
So as you can see there's a couple of big buildings behind us. There's some red mist behind us that way. There's no red mist over this way.
You're all right.
And there's a couple of the thorns behind us here. So we must be right on the outskirts of the entire area here. So very interesting to see that. And you can see red blood mist around the corner that way as well, over behind the buildings there. So kind of interesting as to where we ended up here.
It seems everyone, everywhere, is thirsty.
Too bad this game didn't come out in 2010 and be a foreshadowing of the future.
One that weeps tears of blood. That's what they said, anyway. This way.
Sorry, Io, I can't see you because of my massive wings. So who said what to Io? Very interesting.
It's all right.
Who's
It's all
that?
right.
Who's that? Who's that? Ooh. So our blood seems to have some sort of very, very regenerative power here, of sorts. And very interesting indeed. Get Christmas candy on a tree. Even better.
So, it is you.
It is me what? Bandai does such a good job introducing these topics without holding your hand and telling you exactly what everything is.
Here. This is for you.
Why, thank you. So that's kind of the good hook of any good story, is they introduce topics to you that you need to remember later, that they have a callback to later on, that makes you jog your memory and go, oh, that's why that is. So they do a fantastic job here of story writing.
A new spring and a fresh source of labor. We really hit the jackpot. Get up. It's time for a bit of fun.
Dude. No, if I had my Lost Y, yeah, you would not be interested in coming across me. I think one execution or one dusk edge would finish these guys, so. So this is the first part in the game where you get to kind of look around and see your character. Now, interestingly enough, we are right on the direct edge of the blood mist, of the red mist. Kind of neat that they put this here. As you can see, the red mist is all around, and they just didn't bother to repair any of this, as they figured that the red mist, if you hopped off and had any chance of survival, you would not last any amount of time. Okay, we will check our gear and we will head on up. Okay, so now we are into a couple more cutscenes here. So it's kind of interesting that they set all this up, that you look like a prisoner. Why are you a prisoner? Who are these guys? You know, did they have fun with us? I'm not sure exactly what their intentions were there. They said they want to have fun, but who knows what they actually did. Did they rough us up? Did they exploit us for favors? Who knows?
My asthma's pretty thick. Damn it! We're running out of time before the next collection. Everything's ready. Right. I'm on my way. All dried up, just like the others.
Yeah, all dried up. So there's no sense in searching with the miasma like this. Let's...
You know what these are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Blood beads, right?
Yes, very good. Now I want you to search for blood beads in the tunnels ahead of here. You see, it's only a short time before the collectors come to take our levy. But once they do, I'm afraid we won't have any blood beads to give them. If we don't find some, Silva's hounds will strip the shirts right off our backs. Well, that's the long and short of it.
Why does it have to be us?
Don't ask me. The stupid levy system was Silva's idea. If you have a complaint, I suggest you take it up with him. You lot go first. Get to work.
So who is Silva?
Don't. There's a better time and place. For now, we just have to obey.
Next! Whoa there. You wait here with us. You can have this one back when you return, in exchange for any blood beads you find, of course. Oh, and I hear the hunter has been showing up around here lately. So make sure you don't all get killed.
Now, it would have been nice to have some kind of showdown with this fella.
You heard him. Move it!
Ouch. Hey, you okay?
Yep,
It looks like we
we're
can't
fine.
get back up from here. We'll have to look for another way back. Oh, I'm Oliver Collins, by the way.
Sorry, Oliver.
Nice to meet you.
We're taking your cameo out there with our giant wings. So interesting that the ladder that they fed down to us is the ladder we come around to at the end when we meet up with Shang. So first things first, we got to get rid of Oliver here. So it would have been nice if we would have been able to keep Oliver as a friend, and the ill-tempered revenant or the self-important revenant, whatever his name was up there, that where he threw down the ladder up there. I don't think we can even see. Yep, there's the ladder. If we would have been able to have a showdown with him rather than going for killing Oliver. But it is what it is, so we will be running Perseus through here, regeneration shift to get more health back, as I don't anticipate too much damage through here, but we'll see. And we'll be paired up with Eva to make sure that our light gifts and our dark gifts, actually just our dark gifts, this will be kind of a dark run for the first set here, and when we head up to Oliver, we will go for the appropriate gifts for him. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves going here. And we will go for Eva's communal when it's most advantageous. Okay, so that's very good, very good, very good. We'll just kill him. Oh, execution missed that fella, unfortunately, because Eva knocked him down. But okay, so we've picked up everything here. Let's head on through the boxes here, and we come to our first chest right here. Okay, let's kill this fella. And we pick this up, and everybody picks this up and says, "Ooh yeah, heavy axe every time." But it's what it is. It's not a bad weapon. It's just not an incredible weapon. Okay, so we head through here. Now we will kind of be speeding our way through this area as far as enemies are concerned. Oh, come on, I need to hit him for I-Corp purposes, but that's okay. We can hit this fella. And we'll go for a backstab, because why not? Okay. And through here, all of this is pretty simple, pretty straightforward to figure out where everything is at. As you see some boxes and you break them. It's pretty simple as that. Okay, so we head on up to this fella. We'll just execute him. And we find our second chest of the game. Whoa, Eva, what? Okay, this fella's coming over here. We'll kill him. Okay, so let's go for our other gifts here as well. And let's go for, whoops, a gift accelerator here. And we'll kill both of these fellas in one execution. Okay, now this being the very, very beginning of the game here, everybody takes extreme damage from us, and we are paired to the hilt here to be able to do as much damage as possible. And we haven't even activated Eva yet, so we'll go for Cognitive Zeal. And as you see, all of our gifts execute very, very quickly. We'll just kill the squid. And we'll go for a backstab, and then a couple of damage attacks here to get some more I-Corp. There we go. We're right back up to very high stocks there at 21. Let's kill this thing. And there's an MJ018 right here, and whoops, there's something on the ground here. It could be an old world material. Nope. So it is important to, in the first run of the game, here's the first missile that you come to. The first series that you run through the game in your first playthrough, it's important to open all of the chests and all of the doors and everything, and kind of explore everywhere, as there are some unique hidden things here at the beginning. Even this is one of them. This is your third chest, and it's a very, very good weapon. The Queenslayer Greatsword, as that is a very long carry weapon throughout the game. Okay, let's get some I-core here. Good. And we are back up to full. Most excellent. As this fella here kind of waits for you to come down this ramp, which hooks back up to the main path there, or the alternate path, and he looks to ambush you. Okay, so more cutscenes here. So as you can see, we can kind of speed our way through most things here.
Didn't they pass us earlier?
Let's go ahead and drink some water while we watch this fella.
Are you okay? Did you get hurt?
Ooh. Very cool. That is a very cool shot.
That could have gone better. I'll catch up with you in a bit.
His mask is leaking quite a bit.
Don't worry about me. I'll be alright. Go on.
Not sure exactly what it's leaking
Just
though.
focus on finding some blood beads, alright? That girl is waiting for you.
As there's not really a pressure differential between Vane and wearing the mask. The mask is simply to filter, so it's like what we got going on now in Corona, is where you wear a mask and it filters the air. There's no pressure differential there. So I'm not sure exactly why his mask is leaking in that way, but it's a cool effect nonetheless. Okay, so we'll go for Eva, and we'll go for a Drain Activator. And we'll get some more I-core. And you can see that now we have extreme damage, and nobody stands a chance in any sort of way. Okay, we'll go for a Draconic Stake. 20,000, a healthy 20,000. Okay, and there's a healthy 17,000. Okay, so when you run over this way, you get the squids that drop down from the ceiling. So we'll kill them first. We'll go for Cognitive Zeal. Whoops. There we go. And we'll go for a swipe. And a swipe. There we go. Okay, so we took a little bit of damage there. That was a mistake. And this fella's here behind the boxes. So you always just go ahead and swipe him down. And these guys are up here at the first position here to get your first regeneration factor, which is very nice. Okay, we'll plunge this fellow and we'll kill him. Okay, so Eva's still fighting this fella, so we'll kill him. Okay, so let's, did we pick up? No, we didn't pick up the regeneration factor. So there's your first one of the game that you would run into, and you would definitely want to use that. Okay, so let's head on back up this this path here. We'll pick up this, go for Gift Accelerator. Oops, not him. I want this guy. And we'll go for a Draconic Stake and kill him. Oops. Okay, let's get some I-core here. Good. And then we got this fella here. We can just run up and slash him down. And then we got this guy. We'll go for Backstab. All kinds of fun creatures here in Vane. And all of this would be very fairly interesting and difficult here at the beginning of the game, as you wouldn't know really what anything does. Now we have these fellas up here, so we'll go for a Draconic Stake here. We'll kill that one. And we'll kill this one. Oops. I guess it wasn't able to drop in on us there. So we'll run over this way, and we'll get that guy, and we'll go for some ichor here while we can. Now you're introduced to a vivifier here at the as this is the first place that you pick up a vivifier, and it definitely is of interest that it allows you to teleport to a missile, but you lose your haze. Okay, so we come to our first missile of regeneration ability, which we don't need, but this is where you would get it. Okay, and we'll go for these so we can have more ichor regeneration. Now this fella is one of your depth map, or sorry, your map location people, and he definitely gives you that ability to get a map token from him, and you get the second veil that you run across in the game. And so this guy is important to kill as he gives you that piece of the map. Okay, so here you're introduced to Louis, so we say hello Louis, no thanks. And this little ledge here gives you a lost shard large. Okay, and then this fella, we will just go for some attacks and kill him. Oh, we didn't quite get all of his damage there, but that's okay. And then we can run up here and go for this fella. Good. And we'll go for a draconic stake on this guy. Oh, we missed. Okay. I can't get up the ledge there. That's okay. And we'll just kill him quickly and effectively. Now this fella didn't feel like he had any need to join in the fun here. So we'll go up for a backstab, and then we'll go for a drain, or just an attack there, as that gives us really, really good damage. And we'll go for a couple of attacks here, as we need lots of ichor back. Okay. Oops. And that's kind of this area. Now up over here is a ladder that you can come in through this way, and you can see the landscape from this angle. But you definitely don't want to come from this way, as it affords you more damage from the enemy, since all the shooters see you, and they know which direction you're coming from, and the two big fellas see you as well. So if you're coming from the ladder area there, then it can be very, very problematic. So I always opt to choose to go the other direction. Okay, so we get our first blood spring here that we actually are actively looking for. Okay. And we have gold blood. How nice. And we notice the phenomenon again, that it allows us to do this. And it's nice that the protagonist here doesn't have to think about it. She just simply does it. She's not shocked by it anymore. She saw what happened at the first blood spring, and she thought, well, if I did it once, I can do it again. So there's not a lot of like confusion. Now why it happens, it's still a mystery, but it's nice to see that our character is not incredibly stupid. She definitely has a good head on her shoulders here, where she can observe and watch and see things happen as they happen. And up here we have another thorn coming through, and we get introduced to our first one-handed sword. That's much better than the pipe at the beginning here. And more door simulator, which is nice. And you're introduced to your first ambush from a real threat, as you've been kind of ambushed by the slugs and squids, but this time you're ambushed by a real enemy here. So we'll go for a couple of items here, and we'll pick this up, and then he drops down, and that kills him extremely quick. Okay, and we'll go for a couple of attacks here on this fella, and just like that we are back up to full ichor, because the Brionac has extremely high drain rating. Currently we are at 3.31, which is multiplied by 1.8 for regular normal attacks. And you can see there across the way, that was where we were at the beginning. Okay, so we head on up. Here's a door, and then up behind us is another MJ. Okay, and then this fella up here. Oops, if I can get him. There we go. And let's hit him with a spike. It doesn't hit him. Okay, so we'll head on over here, and we'll kill him. And then we'll run over here, and we'll kill him. Okay, so we took a slash to the face there. So let's go ahead and heal, as we have regeneration shift, and that heals us in an extremely good way. And because we used a heal, we can go ahead and use one here, and that replenishes that one that we lost. Okay, good. Now the squids up here are just waiting for us. And there's one. Good. And this fella, oh, yeah, he definitely was trying to get in on it there. But Eva went and took care of him for us very quickly and easily. Okay, and another thing behind here. So as you can see, the 100% area here of the first section of the game is fairly slow and kind of weak, but that's what it is. So now that we're going for Oliver, since we have the ability to, we will go for fire and lightning pierce, as that's what he is weak to. So what would be another fun pierce? Sure, dancing blaze. I guess we'll go all fire. We could go fire or lightning. Either one is fine. I guess this is what we'll do though. Okay, here and this, and we'll go for Eva. Okay, and we'll go for a couple of these things, as they are just here and now, so we can use them. Okay, let's go. Now we have to get a couple of attacks on him first to get Ichor back, as we have really high Ichor drain right now. So a couple of attacks should fill us up, and then we can go and burst him down. Okay. Now, famous last words, you know. Oh, whoops, that was a cutscene. Sorry. There we go. And let's go for gift prowess. There we go. Let's go for some Ichor here. There we go. Whoops. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. So definitely took some hits there that were kind of unnecessary. And I'm sorry I skipped the cutscene there. I was getting excited to, for my active gifts and such, but we'll continue with the cutscenes from here on. The entrance cutscenes aren't of particular importance necessarily, as they don't add a whole lot. But that was our fight with Louis.
She's all right. By the way, both of you,
All revenants must pay a levy.
Ooh.
There are no exceptions.
What is the levy?
a vestige. Best to stay away from those stones. Anyone who touches them is defiled, transformed into the lost. Don't listen to their whispers.
Someone has to be sacrificed.
Okay. So what do we do? The
Without blood beads,
best course of action would be then
make it.
to touch it.
Once she's settled down, let's get out of here.
I think he was just fine.
someone has to be sacrificed.
So of course the order of the day is to touch the thing that we were told not to touch. Kind of funny how they choose to progress the story there.
Wait, what are you...
But this is key.
Let go! It'll swallow you up!
It's all right. You can do it.
So what's the blue? What is that? And why did our eyes turn blue when they just turned red a few seconds ago? eyes turn back red.
What the hell?
Yep. Louis on the right track there. Nobody knows what's going on. And we still have a lot of questions that we raised at the beginning and the middle there, kind of, and that still haven't been answered. And we're this far in the game. In the first level. And we're transported to a different world with a wonderful piano solo.
Please, let us keep them just this once. We won't make it if you take them.
All revenants must pay a levy of blood deeds. There are no exceptions. Sorry.
Cerberus soldier. Who might that Cerberus soldier be?
Someone has to be sacrificed. Without blood deeds, we won't make it.
The few humans that remain are under Silva's control. Wandering revenants like us, forced to hunt for blood deeds, are facing death. Even if some revenants must be sacrificed for our survival.
Well, I guess you reap what you sow. Right? Well, that's all right. What is that? At least one of us makes it.
Poor Oliver. But it's nice that he's part of the story because he shows you the effect that the lost fall into.
Is this the past of one of the lost? No. There's no way.
This is a memory echo. It's a place where lost recollections still wander. Come, let's move on. If you use that stairway, I believe it should take us back to the world outside this memory.
Okay.
This is Uncommon.
Okay. Thanks, Eo. Thanks, Louis. So we find a little bit about revenants here, as we've seen their name pop up in the subtitles there a couple of times. And so you're wondering what's a revenant and who's Silva and why do we need blood beads. And so they do a real good job here of introducing little bits of all the topics you need to actually put all the pieces together, but they don't give you anything to actually connect all of the dots, which is great because it keeps you interested and it keeps you wanting to play more.
What the hell was that?
It was a memory, carved into that vestige by the one who left it behind.
I didn't expect that I'd get dragged into it too.
We both melted into you.
I can't believe this.
Great
What a power.
wing images here.
Come with me. I know a spot where we can rest. I'm Louis. I'm researching blood beads.
Hi, Louis. Did you know I can make them?
Nice to meet you.
Boy, if I had a golden mask right now. Get some great screenshots. So we get Oliver's blood code, the Berserker vestige code, as it is the one and only strength blood code that you get from the beginning of the game here. And so they give you a simple blood code to kind of start things off with, as it has, I believe it's an A in strength. And I don't have my spreadsheet up, so I can't see it. But it's a pretty good blood code for starting out, as it's a very simple, very basic, and it doesn't have a whole lot of complexity to it. So there's the red mist,
Isn't it?
which we were right next to at the beginning of the game, when we were crawling through the city.
Red mist showed up a short time after the Queen was defeated.
So
When
who's
it
the
did,
queen?
It trapped everyone and everything inside, giving birth to the Society of Revenants ruled by Silva. The Jail of the Mists. As time passed, that was the name people gave to the world inside. The creatures trapped inside the miasma wander in a never-ending cycle of death and rebirth, always searching for blood beads to sustain them.
More textures rendering.
Revenants need to have blood. Without it, they turn into those creatures we call the Lost. The revenants who captured you were desperately searching for blood, terrified of losing themselves. It's a common fate these days. But ripples are beginning to form. You cleared the miasma and revitalized the blood spring. Where did you learn to do that?
Don't remember.
You've forgotten? Anything you do remember?
Louis, if you were a scientist, as you say you are...
Unusual. Losing so much of your memory. I suppose it was the same for her.
You would understand that we've been killed before, and that's why we don't have memory, because we have been killed. Louis, I'm disappointed. You should have put those pieces together. Such big brain you are.
Warm here, isn't it?
Sure is, yo.
Everyone wants to know more about me, but I don't know the answer to any of their questions. All I can remember is that my name is Eve, and that my place is by your side. My name, I have no idea what it means.
So, she doesn't know the answers to any questions, and so what are we going to do? We're going to question her. So let's go ahead and question her.
I'm not sure. It was simply decided. One does what must be done. And for me, that is my mission. To stay at your side.
Well, you definitely know an answer to that one.
I was wounded while I was searching for you. I am not a very capable fighter.
She's not a very capable fighter. ... Yet. Okay, and so then we can come up here, pick up the enthralling magazine, as that is, emotes and things. But it's interesting that you can pick that up, and then you can give it to Louis as a gift. Okay, so we talked to EO, so then the next thing to do is talk to Louis again.
The power to revitalize blood springs, both unprecedented. Sorry, but could I get a sample of your blood? You might understand more if we analyzed it. It won't be much, just a small vial, so you won't need to worry about bloodthirst. It'll take a while to get the results. Take it easy in the room back there while you wait.
Well, thanks, Louis. But I still think you should have put it together that if I have lost memory, then something must have happened to me to make me lose my memory, and if I'm a revenant and I'm in the Jail of the Mists, then you would know about it, that I'm not a human, and I'm definitely a revenant, because future foreshadowing, Yakumo can smell humans, and so Louis should have definitely known that I was a revenant, I had died, and that I had lost my memories.
I've done what I can to look into your talents. I've confirmed something surprising. Revenants have blood types that differ from those of humans. These types greatly affect a revenant's abilities. However, your blood has no specific type. Or maybe more accurately, your type is broken. Your abilities, and the fact that you have no specific type, might be due to your being what we call a void type. You were able to gain another revenant's power through a vestige, right? That phenomenon is unique to void types.
Okay, now this is interesting because Cruz at the beginning in the training area told us that our blood code that we had previously had vanished, and now we have nothing. And we are the only one, and we are very unique that this has ever happened to. So how does Louis know that a void type is how does Louis know that a void type is actually a void type? So he must have come across it before, so somebody else must have been in exactly our shoes, which would then contradict Cruz at the beginning in the training area. So I'm a little confused here how Louis knows about that, that a void type is a void type, because if he's come across it before, then he shouldn't have been surprised by it. But if he has come across it before, then that means that it's happened before, and we are absolutely not unique, which would then lend itself to more questions with, well, how many queens were before Cruz and different things. So interesting.
Familiar face. Has Louis stuck his head into another pot of trouble? Well, it's none of my business, really. Anyway, I'm Coco, a merchant by trade. Stop by if you need anything.
Okay. Anything? And we need to talk to Rin.
Nice to meet you. If Louis brought you here, there must be some reason, right? I'm Rin Murasame. I provide the back home support for all the explorers here. It's a pleasure. I've got my own reasons for why I can't go into combat with you, but I'll provide your weaponry and maintain it for you. Anyway, relax and make yourself at home.
She's very hospitable for a 16-year-old. I find that highly interesting and unusual, but there are really, really good 16-year-olds out there. I've seen them.
Supposing you are a void type, there's a test I'd like to perform. Don't worry, I'll something out of it. I'm going to give you some of my blood. If my theory is correct, it should act as a medium, give my power to you.
Thanks, Louis.
Well, here goes.
Now, I'm assuming we bite him.
Did you go visit Murasame and Coco? They should be ready to do business now. Weapons and blood veils are vital parts of a revenant's kit when exploring. You should take another look at them. If you've got materials, upgrade and transform them. Once you've got that settled, talk to me again, and we'll continue where we left off.
Okay. So we go ahead and talk to Louis like 10,000 times in a row here. Okay, so it's part of our kit when we're adventuring. Interesting word choices there.
That kind of stuff happens every day here. Silva has taken most of the humans who survived under his protection. So revenants are left to rely on blood beads alone to slake their unending thirst. But, well, nothing in this world lasts forever. The springs started to dry up, and so blood beads grew rarer and rarer.
Interesting camera angle there.
And the order Silva created by levying and distributing blood beads won't last much longer either. The world needs more blood beads. Only then can we strive for fairness instead of petty favoritism.
Only then can we can?
That's why we've been exploring the Jail of the Mists. We're doing research to learn all we can about blood beads. But the miasma has been a real problem. It makes our thirst even worse, so our progress has stalled.
That's a problem.
Now, though, we have a glimmer of hope. Your power can clear the miasma. If you could help us, well, we'd be drawn into a bitter conflict. Still, the truth is, we don't have a lot of hope without you. Will you join us?
Why, of course I will.
Thanks. So, it's a done deal? Well then, from now on, you're one of us.
Wow, so accepting immediately.
Yakumo Shinonome. I'll be looking forward to seeing you in action.
Oh, don't worry, buddy. We already had a playthrough with you, and you and I both did pretty well.
Let's get right into it. Here's what's going on. We're studying blood beads and their springs. We want to know how and when blood springs appear, their cycles for producing beads, and the composition of the beads themselves. We've made a few discoveries. First of all, we found that there are tubes like capillaries running through the earth. We call them blood veins. And so far as we can determine, every single blood spring is located on top of one of these blood veins. Also, after comparing blood beads and blood veins, we now know that they are mostly comprised of the same substances.
In other words, we can safely assume that blood springs always form along blood veins. And we think that means there must be a source somewhere, a kind of headwaters for the blood beads. Now that we have you around to clear the miasma, we can investigate the springs and follow the blood veins. And hopefully, find the source. Right?
We want to check out the old city ruins first. Sorry for the rush. We should head out as soon as you're ready.
I'm part of the team and now I'm just a tool. Okay, so that kind of lays the groundwork there. And the first time I ran through here, I had no idea where to go. And then I read this and I was like, oh, I need to go to the underground from the missile and home base. And I was like, what in the world am I doing? And what's a missile and this and that and everything. So it's kind of crazy. So we learned a little bit about what's going on here, and we raised a whole bunch of questions. So as we continue heading out here into the big wide world outside, we will be finding out more and more answers along the way. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.